Guys, one of the things about state management and just, almost the inner world, all the modules, distinctions, it's very easy to look at these as just being filler. Please don't do that, okay? Make it a point to be out there in the field, making sure you maintain your state of absolute certainty. And also remember this, it's dovetails. It all comes together, right? Oh, folks, it dovetails, right? What are those four in the game distinctions, right? Certainty, right? In terms of state management, right? That's number one. Number two, your belief systems, having empowering beliefs that lead you to massive success. Number three, your vision focus, right? To create a vision for the future. And then also know how to focus on it correctly using that bifurcated focus, right? And lastly, your standards. And what ends up happening is that they all wrap up together in our daily lives as success-oriented people to either drive us to success or to limit us. In other words, what happens, remember, it's what happens up here between your ears before you ever go out into the world and take action. That's what sets you up for success. In other words, the way you manifest success in your life is by imagining, but you have this target you create. What's your target right now? Seriously, what is your target for your own life? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up? You have to have a target to aim for, because without the target, what happens is that the target, it ignites your awareness. In other words, it allows you to choose what's important to focus on versus what you could ignore. There's way too many opportunities. There's way too many stimuli out there that if you don't have a target, then you don't know what to spend your time focusing on. Like, these opportunities come across our lives all the time, right? Like, for instance, when I was in jail, I had a bunkmate, Tommy Chong, famous guy, right? Cheech and Chong, right? And Tommy was the one that got me to write the book, The Wolf of Wall Street. So you say, oh my God, you're so lucky. Tommy was your bunkmate. What a random chance. And that's why the Wolf of Wall Street movie ended up being made, right? Well, that's true in a sense. Yeah. Look, Tommy was in my same jail as me. We shared a cube, right? But how many other people besides me do you think he told you should write a book? You know how many? Probably 100, at least 50. And not one of them did. Why? Because they lacked the inner game, the belief that if I do the work, that I'll get some result out of it. So a belief that you have that I can make this happen. Number two, the ability to manage your state. Listen, guys, I had a really, really tough time. And I wasn't in the worst jail, but still, you're in jail, it's fucked up. How do you stay positive? You all go through times in your lives. It's very difficult sometimes to find the brighter side of things. It's, life's got some shit to it, right? The way I was able to stay so positive, to manage my state like that, was also by knowing my why, which was my children. It always all wraps up together. So in other words, yeah, Tommy's my bunkmate. Because of Tommy, yes, that was what ignited my mind. I should write a book, right? He told me to. But without having the ability to manage my state, without having a why, without having the beliefs, this tacit belief that if I did the work, I'd get the results, and also the strategies to make it real, meaning I modeled Tom Wolfe. Guys, you have the most powerful strategy to model for influence and persuasion. I'm handing you the straight line and a silver platter every single day. You have that. But don't forget that it starts with what happens right up here, between your ears, before you get out into the world and take action. You must show up to the door or pick up the phone, enter the encounter. You must be in a state of certainty. You just have to be. So don't forget that all important stuff. I can't tell you how many times I go out and observe salespeople in the field, and they think they're acting positive. They think they're coming off as being certain, and they're just not. It's like this weird thing. It's like, many of you might be actually tone deaf to your own display of certainty. You think you're acting certain. You think people are perceiving you as being certain, but they're not. The certainty that comes across, it's another level up. You have to make sure that it's getting out there. Now, again, it's not yelling and screaming. It's not flailing your arms out, but make sure that you're portraying the certainty you feel about whatever it is you're selling. And that could be a vision for the future. If you're going to hire people as an entrepreneur, you got to be, telling them and selling them about what the future of your company is, what the opportunity is. It always comes down to your ability to transfer the certainty to other human beings. The straight line system doesn't do that. You create the certainty. The straight line transfers it.